If you're a man over 60 and you've been feeling more tired, less sharp, or like your body just isn't responding the way it used to, this might be the most important few minutes you've spent on your health all year. What if I told you the problem isn't just age? It's not just stress, or bad luck, or genetics. In many cases, the reason men feel weaker, less rested, and disconnected from their desire isn't visible at all. It's silent. It's internal. And it happens every single night without you realizing it. You see, the human body doesn't stop working while you sleep. In fact, that's when some of its most important work begins. While you rest, your body goes into repair mode. It works to rebuild blood vessels, regulate hormones like testosterone and melatonin, and prepare your entire system for energy, focus, and intimacy the next day. But here's the key. That repair process depends entirely on whether your body has the right raw materials to do its job. And for most men over 60, those materials are running low. The truth is, many men go to bed each night missing exactly what their body needs to heal. I'm talking about essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals that are simple, natural, and powerful when taken at the right time. Not in the morning with coffee, not with lunch or dinner, but right before bed, when your body is ready to use them most efficiently. For the past 30 years, I've worked with thousands of men who came to me feeling drained, discouraged, even broken. Some had tried hormone therapy. Others were taking handfuls of supplements. But over and over, I discovered the same pattern. They weren't broken. They were just missing the right support at the right time. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 specific vitamins that play a crucial role in restoring sleep, energy, circulation, and performance, especially for men over 60. These are not exotic or hard to find. They're often overlooked or taken incorrectly. I'll also share 2 little-known insights about why most men fail to see results and how you can avoid those mistakes completely. And I want you to know this. If you've been feeling like your spark is fading, if you've started to accept tiredness, numbness, or weak erections as just part of getting older, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. Real change is possible, not by forcing your body, but by nourishing it in the way it was always meant to be supported. So let's begin this journey step by step. In the next part, we'll start with one of the most misunderstood, yet deeply powerful vitamins for men's health. One that affects your sleep, your blood flow, and your testosterone production all at once. Most people think of vitamin D3 as something you get from sunlight or take with your morning multivitamin. And for years, that's exactly how it's been marketed. But what many men over 60 don't realize is that the timing of D3 can be just as important as the dose. In fact, taking it before bed could be one of the most powerful shifts you make for your sleep, your testosterone, and your circulation. Vitamin D3 plays a quiet but essential role in your body's nighttime repair cycle. It works alongside melatonin to regulate your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells your body when to rest and when to heal. But that's only part of the story. During sleep, your body uses D3 to stimulate testosterone production, repair blood vessels, and restore the endothelial lining that supports healthy circulation. That lining is critical. It's the part of your arteries that releases nitric oxide, the molecule your body needs to open blood vessels and trigger erections. Without it, your blood flow slows, your vessels stiffen, and your mornings start to feel flat, both physically and emotionally. I remember working with George, a 67-year-old retired gym teacher. He was still active, still in decent shape, but something had changed. His sleep felt shallow, his energy dipped by noon, and intimacy had quietly disappeared from his life. He told me, "I don't feel like myself anymore. I don't even feel like a man." We ran some simple tests and found one major issue. He was chronically low in vitamin D3, not dangerously deficient, but low enough to slow everything down. Rather than loading him with pills, I asked George to try just one simple step. Take a moderate dose of high-quality vitamin D3 about 30 minutes before bed. That was it. Within a week, he noticed his sleep felt heavier, more restorative. By the second week, his mornings felt clearer, less foggy. And by the third week, he came into my office with a quiet smile and said, "Doc, I woke up hard this morning. First time in over a year." That's the power of giving your body what it needs, when it needs it most. Vitamin D3 isn't a stimulant. It doesn't give you a jolt or a rush. but it gently supports the systems your body already wants to activate during sleep. Testosterone production, blood vessel repair, hormonal balance. And for many men, this one small act before bed is the missing piece in their long search for natural recovery. You don't need a cabinet full of pills. You don't need to chase quick fixes. Sometimes, healing begins with a single step, offering your body the support it was quietly asking for all along. There's a quiet shift that happens in many men as they move through their 60s and beyond. It's not always dramatic or obvious, but they start to notice something is missing. Not just energy or strength, but a certain fire, the sense of purpose, confidence, and connection they used to carry without thinking. I've seen this countless times. And one of the most overlooked contributors to that change is a simple, powerful nutrient, vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 plays a key role in the brain's ability to regulate both energy and calm. On one side, it helps produce dopamine, the chemical that fuels motivation, focus, and sexual desire. On the other, it supports the production of GABA, the neurotransmitter that quiets the mind and allows for deep, uninterrupted sleep. This balance is essential, especially for older men whose nervous systems tend to run out of sync. You may feel tired in your body, but your mind keeps racing. Or you want to feel intimate, but the signal just doesn't reach your body the way it used to. That was exactly the case with Walter, a 70-year-old retired mechanical engineer. When he first sat down with me, he was clear and articulate. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't anxious. But he looked me in the eye and said, "I feel flat, like the light inside has gone dim." He described sleeping in short bursts, waking multiple times, and feeling empty by lunchtime. When I asked about his libido, he paused and quietly said, "It's been fading for years." I recommended something simple. Take a single dose of vitamin B6 about 30 minutes before bed. Not a cocktail of supplements, not a mega dose, just that one. Walter agreed. After 1 week, he reported sleeping more soundly. By the second week, his mood began to lift. He said it felt like his thoughts were lighter, easier to carry. And then came the third week. He told me, "I actually wanted to be with my wife again. And not just emotionally. I could feel it, physically. I didn't think that part of me was still there." Vitamin B6 doesn't force your body to perform. It restores communication between your brain and your hormones. It helps your nervous system shift out of stress mode and into healing. It lays the foundation for stronger erections, deeper rest, and a sense of confidence that feels rooted and steady. And when taken at the right time, just before bed, it allows your body to do what it's already designed to do. You don't need to fight your biology. You just need to support it, and vitamin B6, when given gently and consistently, becomes a powerful ally in helping you return to yourself, calm, connected, and whole. Many men assume that erections are all about desire, or testosterone. And yes, those are important. But there's another piece that's often forgotten, one that becomes even more crucial with age. I'm talking about relaxation. Not just mental relaxation, but physical relaxation, especially in the arteries, blood vessels, and smooth muscle tissue that control whether blood can actually flow where it needs to go. Without that release, no amount of desire will make a difference. This is where magnesium comes in, specifically magnesium glycinate. It's a form of magnesium that not only helps calm the nervous system, but also relaxes blood vessels, lowers nighttime blood pressure, and supports the release of nitric oxide, the very chemical that triggers and sustains an erection. For older men whose blood vessels are often stiffer and more inflamed, this type of support can be life-changing. I think about Hector, a 66-year-old retired firefighter, still strong in body but frustrated in private. He told me, "Doc, I still want my wife. The feelings are there. But when the moment comes, my body doesn't respond. It's embarrassing. I feel like I'm letting her down." We reviewed his lab work. His testosterone was decent. His blood sugar was controlled. But one thing stood out. He was severely low in magnesium. I suggested he take one small dose of magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. No big changes, no prescription drugs, just that one mineral, taken consistently. Within the first few days, Hector began sleeping more deeply. For the first time in years, he slept through the night without waking up every 2 or 3 hours. By the end of the second week, his energy in the morning had improved. He felt less groggy, more clear-headed. But what really struck him was what happened one morning in the third week. He said, "I woke up with an erection. A real one. Not just a twitch. Something solid. It felt like I had my body back." That's the quiet power of magnesium. It doesn't force your system to respond. It simply removes the tension that's been holding you back. As we age, our muscles tighten, our vessels harden, and our nervous systems struggle to unwind. Magnesium glycinate helps reverse that pattern, gently and reliably. And because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, it also improves sleep quality and reduces anxiety, two things that directly impact male vitality. You don't need a stimulant. You don't need a pill that overrides your natural rhythm. What you need is space. Space inside your body for blood to flow, for signals to connect, and for rest to truly restore. Magnesium glycinate creates that space. And when taken at night, it gives your body the permission it's been waiting for, not just to rest, but to come back fully alive. As men age, one of the first systems to show signs of wear is the circulatory system, especially the small, delicate arteries that make erections possible. It's not something we often talk about, but those tiny vessels are responsible for a very big part of how you feel as a man. And when they start to stiffen or become inflamed, everything from your energy to your intimacy begins to suffer. That's why I often recommend a simple, natural ally, vitamin E. Most people know vitamin E as an antioxidant, but for older men, it's much more than that. It plays a direct role in protecting the endothelial lining of your arteries, the thin layer of cells that controls blood flow, flexibility, and nitric oxide release. That last part is key. Nitric oxide is what signals your blood vessels to expand, allowing more blood to enter the penis and create a strong, lasting erection. Without enough vitamin E, that process begins to break down. Inflammation builds, circulation weakens, and your erections become slower, softer, or disappear altogether. One man I'll never forget is Norman, a 72-year-old retired school principal. He always came in dressed sharp, pressed shirt, polished shoes, calm and thoughtful. But during our visit, he admitted something that surprised me. "Doc," he said, "I feel like my body's not listening to me anymore. I want to respond, I want to connect, but nothing's working." His blood pressure was a little high. His cholesterol was borderline. But the real issue was his circulation, especially to the places where it mattered most. I explained how the smallest arteries in the body are often the first to show damage from aging, oxidative stress, and inflammation, and I shared why vitamin E could help. When taken before bed, vitamin E supports the body's natural nighttime repair process. It helps reduce arterial inflammation, cleanse oxidative buildup, and keep cholesterol from hardening the vessel walls. Norman began taking a natural form of vitamin E, just one moderate dose about 30 minutes before sleep. Over the next few weeks, his body started to shift. He reported sleeping more soundly and waking up feeling clearer, both physically and emotionally. But the moment that stayed with me was a phone call from his wife. She whispered, "Tell the doctor it worked." When Norman came in for his follow-up, he looked different, not just in posture or skin tone, but in spirit. His blood pressure had dropped, his eyes were brighter, and most of all, he felt like himself again. Vitamin E doesn't create instant results. It works slowly, steadily, and deeply. It gives your body the protection it needs to fight back against time. And when you take it before bed, you align it with the body's natural rhythm of repair, restoring flow, strength, and confidence from the inside out. Zinc may be one of the most underrated minerals when it comes to restoring a man's vitality. It's not flashy, it doesn't get much attention, but it quietly fuels some of the most important systems in your body, especially after the age of 60. Testosterone production, sperm health, prostate function, and overall energy all rely on this one essential nutrient. And yet, many men are walking around with levels far below what they need, often without even knowing it. One of those men was Thomas, a 69-year-old who still worked part-time at the auto shop he once owned. He was the kind of man who fixed things with his hands, who others turned to when something was broken. But now, he was facing something he couldn't repair with a wrench or a tool. "Doc," he said quietly, "I still love my wife, I still want her, but my body doesn't seem to want the same anymore, and I don't want to accept that as my future." We ran his lab tests. His testosterone was low, Not dangerously so, but far from optimal. His prostate was slightly enlarged, and his energy faded by early afternoon. Most notably, his zinc levels were low, not unusual for a man his age, but still enough to throw his entire hormonal system out of balance. Zinc plays a direct role in signaling the release of luteinizing hormone, which then tells the testicles to produce testosterone. Without enough zinc, that chain reaction weakens, and the symptoms of low testosterone start to appear: fatigue, loss of desire, weaker erections, and emotional flatness. I asked Thomas to try just one thing. Take 15 milligrams of zinc before bed each night, not a multivitamin, not a complex stack of supplements. Just zinc, in a pure, well-absorbed form. After 10 days, he reported feeling more clear-headed. His afternoon energy dips weren't as severe. But what touched him most deeply was what happened in the third week. He looked me in the eye and said, "We held each other again. Not just physically, but as husband and wife. I felt like myself again." Zinc also supports the health of the prostate, helps prevent estrogen buildup, and plays a role in producing healthy sperm, all of which are essential for maintaining a man's identity, confidence, and connection to his body. But timing matters. When taken at night, zinc works in harmony with the body's hormonal cycle, which naturally produces testosterone while you sleep. It's a small shift that makes a big difference. For many men, the missing piece isn't motivation, it's chemistry. And zinc helps restore that chemistry in a way that feels natural, steady, and deeply masculine. Not because it forces anything, but because it supports what's already there, waiting to come back online. As men grow older, it's common to feel a steady decline in energy. But what's often missed is that this drop in vitality is not always from aging alone. In many cases, it's due to a slow erosion of something more fundamental: the body's ability to create and transport energy at the cellular level. And that process depends heavily on a family of nutrients known as the B vitamins. Each B vitamin serves a unique purpose, but together, they form the foundation of healthy circulation, nerve function, hormone balance, and even mood. They help convert food into usable energy, maintain red blood cells, regulate stress hormones, and support the very neurotransmitters that control sleep, motivation, and desire. And when these vitamins are lacking, or taken at the wrong time, your entire system begins to feel like it's running on fumes. I remember Edgar, a 70-year-old retired postal worker. He was quiet, kind, and had always been the dependable one in his family. But when he came to see me, I could see the heaviness in his face. "Doc," he said, "I feel like my body's fading. I'm tired all the time, my sleep is broken, and I haven't felt strong in months. Not as a partner, not even as a man." He wasn't sick. His heart was strong. But his blood work showed something many doctors overlook: low levels of several key B vitamins. Specifically, he was deficient in B1, B3, B6, and B12. This combination can quietly undermine everything from circulation to testosterone production. For example, B1 and B2 support the heart and nervous system. B3 promotes blood vessel dilation and improves oxygen delivery. B6 helps regulate cortisol, which, if elevated at night, can block testosterone. And B12 is vital for red blood cell production and nitric oxide release. I asked Edgar to take a high-quality B-complex supplement before bed. Just one capsule, nothing fancy. The shift wasn't immediate. But after the first week, he told me he was sleeping more soundly. By the second week, he noticed his energy no longer crashed after lunch. And in the third week, he smiled and said, "I woke up with morning wood. Stronger than I've had in years. I didn't think that was still possible." What I've learned is that when you nourish the nervous system, the rest of the body follows. Your blood flows more freely, your brain sharpens, your libido begins to stir again. And with B-complex vitamins taken at night, you align your healing with the body's natural recovery rhythm. This isn't about boosting with stimulants or stacking supplements. It's about supporting the quiet machinery of your body that's always been working behind the scenes. And when that machinery gets what it needs, you don't just feel better, you begin to feel like yourself again. When most men think about vitamins for vitality, vitamin K2 rarely comes to mind. It's not talked about as much as D3 or B12, but it quietly plays a key role in your overall health, especially when it comes to circulation, heart function, and the strength of your erections. And as you grow older, getting enough K2 becomes not just helpful but essential. Vitamin K2 works by helping your body properly manage calcium. That might not sound exciting at first, but it's deeply important. As we age, calcium can begin to deposit in the wrong places, like your arteries, instead of going to your bones where it belongs. This buildup hardens blood vessels, restricts blood flow, and increases the risk of cardiovascular issues. And for men, that means weaker erections, slower recovery, and a body that starts to feel stiff from the inside out. K2 acts like a traffic controller for calcium. It tells it to stay out of your arteries and go where it's needed most. But that's not all. It also enhances the effect of vitamin D3 and supports the flexibility of the vascular system, making it easier for blood to move freely. For any man trying to maintain strong circulation and deep sleep, K2 is a quiet but powerful partner. Clarence, a 68-year-old accountant who lived alone, came to me with vague symptoms, occasional chest tightness, cold feet at night, and a feeling that something inside wasn't flowing right. He had decent cholesterol levels, exercised regularly, and didn't smoke. But something still felt off. When we checked deeper, we saw early signs of calcification in his arteries and a deficiency in vitamin K2. Instead of adding more medications, I suggested he begin a small nighttime ritual, taking 1 moderate dose of vitamin K2 before bed. Within 2 weeks, Clarence told me his feet no longer felt cold when he woke up. By the 3rd week, the tightness in his chest had eased, and he said he felt lighter inside, as if something had begun to unclog. But what really struck him was how his mind felt clearer in the morning, and how his pulse no longer raced after simple tasks. Vitamin K2 doesn't work like a stimulant. It doesn't push the body, it guides it, redirecting resources, protecting vulnerable vessels, and ensuring that your circulation stays clean and open. When taken at night, it aligns with your body's natural repair cycle, helping prevent the slow, silent buildup that robs so many men of their vitality. If your goal is to feel energized, sleep deeply, and maintain healthy blood flow, not just now but for years to come, then vitamin K2 is one of the smartest additions you can make. It works quietly, but the results can be profound. Inflammation is one of the silent forces that accelerates aging from the inside out. It stiffens blood vessels, clouds the brain, and disrupts the communication between your nerves, hormones, and circulation. And for men over 60, chronic inflammation can quietly erode energy, focus, and even sexual performance without ever showing up on a standard blood test. That's why omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, are so important. They don't just help the heart, they help you feel like yourself again. Omega-3s are found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, but many men don't eat enough of these foods regularly. EPA and DHA work by reducing inflammation in the blood vessels, supporting brain function, and improving the elasticity of arteries, especially the smaller ones that supply blood to the penis. This improved flow supports stronger erections, faster recovery, and a clearer, steadier mind. I remember Franklin, a 71-year-old former soldier who loved hiking in the hills behind his home. He came to see me, not because of pain or illness, but because something didn't feel right. He described waking up foggy, with stiff legs and a sense that his body was slowing down on the inside. He said he could still walk for miles, but the spark wasn't there. When we reviewed his diet and labs, the signs were clear: low omega-3 levels and early signs of systemic inflammation. I asked him to begin taking a high-quality omega-3 supplement each night before bed. Not in the morning when stress hormones are rising, but at night, when the body begins to repair its blood vessels and reset its nervous system. After the first week, Franklin said he felt calmer when falling asleep. By the second week, his legs didn't feel as stiff in the mornings, and his thoughts were sharper. In the third week, he shared something quietly but with pride. "Doc, I felt a real difference in the bedroom, something I didn't expect at my age." What many men don't realize is that the same inflammation that affects the heart and joints also affects erections. The blood vessels involved are tiny, delicate, and easily damaged by poor circulation, oxidative stress, or years of nutrient deficiency. Omega-3s help repair those pathways. They thin the blood slightly, lower triglycerides, and support the release of nitric oxide. The result is better flow, better sensitivity, and better communication between your brain and your body. Omega-3s also support the brain directly, helping stabilize mood, improve focus, and reduce feelings of anxiety or fog. And when taken before bed, they do their work while you sleep, gently guiding your system back to balance. Franklin didn't need a new prescription or a dramatic lifestyle overhaul. He just needed the right support at the right time. And for him, omega-3s were the missing link, quietly reducing inflammation, restoring flow, and helping him feel grounded in his body again. Some nutrients are powerful on their own, but when paired together, their effects can become transformative. That's exactly the case with B-complex vitamins and magnesium. Each one supports your body in unique ways, but when taken together, especially before bed, they create a healing rhythm that helps older men recover the energy, clarity, and confidence they thought was gone for good. B-complex vitamins fuel the brain, nerves, blood, and hormone pathways. They support everything from mood and metabolism to red blood cell production and nitric oxide synthesis. Magnesium, on the other hand, relaxes blood vessels, calms the nervous system, and helps regulate blood pressure and sleep. But more than that, magnesium improves how your body absorbs and utilizes B vitamins. Together, they help your system shift from stress mode to recovery mode, where real healing happens. Alvin was 74 years old when I first met him. He had been widowed for 5 years, lived alone in a quiet neighborhood, and had stopped expecting much from his body. "I'm just getting old," he said. "I don't sleep well. I'm tired all day, and intimacy feels like a memory now." His tests didn't show any major disease, but they revealed something just as important. He was low in B vitamins, magnesium, and showing signs of nervous system fatigue. I gave him one simple instruction. Take a high-quality B complex and a dose of magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. Not during the day, not mixed into a complicated supplement routine. Just those two, together, at the right time. After a week, Alvin reported that he was sleeping deeper, no more waking up 4 times a night. By the second week, his energy in the afternoon had returned. But what surprised him most came in the 3rd week. He walked into my office and said, "Something's different. I feel like I've come back to life." He described waking up with stronger erections, clearer thoughts, and a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. "I didn't realize how far I drifted," he said, "until I started to feel like myself again." That's what this combination can do. The B complex restores the pathways your body relies on for strength, focus, and hormonal health. Magnesium helps those pathways open, calm, and function smoothly. Together, they re-establish the rhythm of restoration, especially when taken before bed, when the body is primed to repair. You don't need to flood your system with pills or chase miracle cures. What you need is support. Gentle, targeted, and consistent support. And that's exactly what this duo offers. For many men over 60, this simple nighttime act becomes a turning point. The moment the body begins to respond again, naturally and steadily. Over the years, I've worked with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Some found real transformation, more energy, better sleep, stronger erections, and a renewed connection to their partner and to themselves. But others gave up too soon, not because their bodies couldn't heal, but because they made a few quiet mistakes that blocked their progress. If you're going to start this journey toward natural recovery, there are 3 things you need to avoid. The first mistake is expecting fast results. Many men are used to fixing problems quickly. You see an issue, you solve it. That mindset works for a leaky faucet or a broken carburetor, but not for a body that's been gradually declining over decades. Healing doesn't happen in a flash. It happens layer by layer, night after night. You may not feel a dramatic change after a few nights, but deep inside, your body is adjusting, restoring blood flow, calming nerves, and rebalancing hormones in ways you may not notice right away. I think of Ron, a 65-year-old contractor who prided himself on being self-reliant. He came to me feeling tired, disconnected, and frustrated with his lack of drive. I suggested he start with just one simple step, magnesium glycinate before bed. 3 nights later, he returned, irritated. "It didn't work," he said. "I'm still tired, Still nothing in the morning. I asked him how long it had taken for his energy to decline. He paused and said, "Years, maybe decades." Then I said something I've told many men before. Then why expect to fix it in 72 hours? The second mistake is taking supplements at the wrong time. Many men take vitamins first thing in the morning, hoping for a burst of energy with their coffee. But that's when the body is in stress mode. Cortisol is high, blood sugar is rising, and your system is focused on alertness, not healing. The real repair work happens while you sleep. That's when testosterone is produced, blood vessels are restored, and neurotransmitters reset. Taking the right nutrient before bed aligns with that natural rhythm and gives your body the tools it needs to recover. The third mistake is using the wrong form or dose. Cheap synthetic vitamins often have low absorption rates. Megadoses can overload the liver and do more harm than good. What your body truly wants is something gentle, bioavailable, and well-timed. Not more, just better and more consistent. If you've tried supplements before and felt disappointed, maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe you were just missing the rhythm, the patience, or the right kind of support. Because when you correct those three things, when you give your body steady, consistent care at the right time, you start to feel a shift, not a miracle, a return. A slow, steady awakening of systems that never stopped working. They were just waiting for your help. When it comes to healing, many men ask the same question. How long will it take before I feel different? And while every body is unique, there's a rhythm, a pattern I've seen time and time again. When the right nutrients are taken consistently at the right time, especially before bed, it doesn't take a miracle. It takes a rhythm. And when you follow that rhythm, something remarkable starts to unfold in 3 phases. The first week, the second, and the first full month. In the first 7 nights, most men don't notice dramatic changes on the outside. But deep inside, their body is shifting gears. Blood vessels begin to relax. Inflammation starts to go down. Magnesium calms the nervous system. Melatonin levels stabilize. You may begin to fall asleep faster, or wake up feeling just a little more rested. Some men notice fewer nighttime bathroom trips, or that they dream more vividly. These are quiet signs that your body is re-entering deep sleep cycles, where hormone repair, cell restoration, and testosterone production happen. By night 14, your systems begin to reconnect. Circulation improves, especially to the brain and the pelvic region. B vitamins help restore nerve sensitivity, while omega-3s reduce stiffness and support memory. Men who once woke up groggy start to feel clearer in the morning. Some report a return of spontaneous erections, or a new sense of warmth and flow in the lower body. You're not just sleeping better, you're rebuilding the foundation of desire, confidence, and presence. Then comes night 30, and for those who stay consistent, this is where the real change is felt. Energy levels rise without needing coffee. Motivation returns, not just for intimacy, but for life. You may notice your mood is lighter, your steps more purposeful, and your body responding in ways you thought were long gone. I've heard men say, "I'm laughing again," or "My wife noticed I've been humming in the morning." These aren't small things. They're signs of restoration, not just of the body, but of spirit. Now, does every man feel this exact shift on day 30? Not always. Some feel it sooner, others later. But when the nutrients are right, and the timing is gentle and aligned with your body's natural repair cycles, this is the rhythm your biology remembers. It's not a new state, it's a return, a reawakening of your body's original design. What matters most is consistency. One missed night won't undo your progress, but 1 week of skipping can slow your momentum. Think of this like tuning an instrument. It takes time, but once your system is in tune, everything plays more beautifully. Your energy, your desire, your connection to life itself. So if you're still with me, and you've made it this far, trust that your body is listening. And when you nourish it with steady care, it will answer you. Softly at first, then stronger each night. There's something sacred about the quiet moments before sleep. It's when the world slows down and you're left alone with your body. No distractions, no noise, just the rhythm of your breath and the weight of the day falling away. For many men, especially after 60, that silence can feel heavy. It can bring up questions, regrets, or the quiet ache of lost vitality. But what if I told you that this moment, right here, right now, is where healing begins? You don't need to chase youth. You don't need to become someone you used to be. You simply need to come home to yourself. And the path home isn't paved with pills or pressure. It begins with one small act of care, repeated night after night. Giving your body the right nutrients. Giving your nervous system a break. Allowing your blood to flow, your mind to rest, and your hormones to do what they were always designed to do. You've learned about 8 essential vitamins, tools that support your testosterone, circulation, sleep, memory, and mood. You've seen how pairing them with your body's natural nighttime rhythm can awaken systems that felt long forgotten. You've heard stories of real men, just like you, who found their way back not through force, but through rhythm, nourishment, and patience. And now, you stand at a choice. The truth is, no one can do this for you. Not me, not your doctor, not even your partner. This is your journey, and your body is waiting. Not for perfection, but for consistency, for kindness, for a message that says, I still believe in you. Maybe you're 62 and wondering if it's too late, or 78 and afraid your best days are behind you. Let me remind you, your body is never done healing. It is not broken. It's responsive. It's alive. And when you treat it with respect, it will meet you halfway, every time. There may be setbacks, missed nights, doubts, but none of that erases your progress. Just return to the rhythm. Return to that quiet, healing moment before bed and say yes, one more time, because every night is a chance to begin again. And as your sleep deepens, as your blood begins to move with more ease, as your confidence quietly returns, you'll notice something more than just physical change. You'll feel your presence strengthen, your relationships soften, your voice deepen, not just in sound, but in certainty. You'll begin to carry yourself not with the energy of youth, but with the grounded strength of a man who has returned to his center. So take this with you. Your body still remembers how to heal. Your energy is not lost. It's waiting. And all it takes is one quiet night, followed by another, until one day you look in the mirror, and you don't just see a man who survived the years. You see a man who chose to live them. And if this message has touched something in you, if you feel ready to take better care of your body, to sleep deeper, and to feel more like yourself again, go ahead and click subscribe. That way, you won't miss the next time we sit down together. You deserve to keep learning, healing, and living with quiet strength.